Good evening, everyone. I'll go ahead and call the September 16th City Council regular meeting to order. I will ask the clerk to call roll.
Mayor Brian Mock. Mayor Pro Tem Jimmy First.
Bad imitation here.
Councilmember John Mesa. Councilmember Leslie Robson. Councilmember Paul Stovall.
Here.
Councilmember Elmer Vai.
Present.
Well, thank you, everyone. And with that, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. And with sorrow, it is our interim planning and development director's last day. So will you please lead us, not last day, but last meeting, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you for that. I will need a approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this item? All in favor? Fantastic. The motion is approved. And that brings us down to announcements and presentations. And it looks like we got a nice, was that a lion you got for us today? A sneezy lion. Oh, man, big sneezes.
Bless you. Is that making you sneeze? There we go. Thank you guys so much for having us. This right here is Neo, who is not a lion. He's just a very cute dog in disguise today, but he is around 7 years old. He is available for adoption at our DeKalb County Animal Services location. Not too far from here. It's just a quick drive. We're open till 7 if any of you are interested in him or any of the other hundreds of animals that we do have in our facilities that are available, not just for adoption, but for fostering, dog for the day, weekend warrior, any type of way to get them out and get them some more publicity. He is such a sweet boy. He is friendly with all people, dogs. I don't think he's ever met anyone that wasn't his best friend. He's super, super sweet, and we just want to see him succeed and get into a loving home where he's not at our shelter because, as you guys have probably seen, our shelters are so full. Our team has done such an incredible job. I cannot praise our DeKalb team enough for these past couple of weeks of not having an urgent list at all. They have been doing everything they can to get these animals out into placement. So for the past 2 weeks, there has not been a euthanasia list. So round of applause for them. And right now we are currently at 487 and we're looking to get to 475. And I think that's very doable in the next, you never know what adoptions are happening right now. Or if you guys come on down just a little bit, like I said, we're open till 7, we can get that number down to where there is not a euthanasia list this week either. But we have so many dogs and cats that are looking for homes, and we also are not exactly adding to our population numbers, but we are making it more comfortable for our animals with our pet neighborhood that is still underway. We are excited to let you guys know that we're looking at October as an open date, fingers crossed, but that will help make housing the animals a little bit more comfortable, especially for our dogs that maybe are a court case that are having to stay there a little bit longer, things like that. It'll be a big relief to our staff over there. And we also have some amazing promotions that are coming up. This entire month, every animal in foster is fee waived. So great time to come out to one of our adoption events, meet some dogs that are in foster, see if you can meet a match, and they will be fee waived. And then this weekend, all of our dogs are going to be fee waived no matter where they are. So this weekend is also a great time to think about adding a furry friend to your family. And then we also have our Healthy Pets DeKalb event coming up as well, where we give free vaccines, free spay and neuter vouchers, and then free pet resources as well. So we're excited about that. And so, yeah, we've got lots of great stuff going on. And if you are interested in learning a little bit more about Neo, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks, everybody, for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Nothing but great news. I can't remember the last time we've heard that they were under 500, so thank you for sharing that. We're trending the right way. All right. So cute in that lion outfit. Thank you all. So that moves us down to staff reports, and it doesn't look like we have any today, which will bring us to old business and approval of minutes. So it looks like we have City Council public hearing work session August 14th, August 19th, and that's it.
Motion to
Thank you.
approve the minutes from the work session August 14th and the minutes from the regular meeting on August 19th as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these items? All in favor? And that passes. Thank you. And that brings us down to our second read on ordinances. And it looks like we have a text amendment to the UDO smoke and vape shops.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to allow the city attorney to read headings only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to read headings only. Any discussion on that item? All in favor? And that passes.
Good evening. The first ordinance for the second read tonight is a text amendment to the UDO to address smoke vape shops. It's an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Chamblee, Appendix A, Unified Development Ordinance, Title I, Administration, and Title II, Land Use and Zoning, by adding text related to standards for tobacco vape products, shops, and for all other purposes. Section 1 adds definitions for tobacco paraphernalia and tobacco products. Section 2 amends Title 1, Chapter 110, Section 110 by amending the definition of tobacco product shops. Section 3 amends Title II, Land Use and Zoning, Chapter 240, General Use Regulations, Article 1, Permitted and Prohibited Uses, Section 240-1, Table of Permitted and Prohibited Uses, by editing the name of the term tobacco product shop. Section 4 amends Title II, Land Use and Zoning, Chapter 240, General Use Regulations, Article 3, Supplemental Use Standards, Section 240-12, Measurements, by editing the section on measurements. Section 5 amends Title II, Land Use and Zoning, Chapter 240, General Use Regulations, Article 3, Supplemental Use Standards, Section 240-13, Supplemental Use Provisions, subsection B19, by editing the text to read as tobacco vape product shop definition. And Section 6 repeals all other ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. And Section 7 provides for severance if any portion of the ordinance is found to be invalid.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve the text amendment to the UDO for smoke and vape shops.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this item? All in favor? That passes.
Thank you, Mr. First, for bringing this to our attention.
A pleasure.
And the next ordinance is an amendment to the alcohol ordinance, an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Chamblee, Georgia, Chapter 6, Alcoholic Beverages and for all other lawful purposes. Part 1 amends Section 6.1 by adding a definition for grooming service establishment. Part 2 amends the Section 6.1 by amending the definitions for alcoholic beverage establishment and brown bag establishment. Part 3 amends the provisions of 6-41, which sets forth the requirement for licenses. Part 4 amends Section 6-47, which includes additional license requirements. Part 5 amends Chapter 6 by adding a new Article 16 complimentary beer wine establishment license.
Mr. Mayor,
That's it.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve the second read of alcohol ordinance amendment as read by the city attorney.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes.
The next ordinance is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Chamblee, Georgia, Chapter 22, Article 9, Dealers in Precious Metals and Gems, relative to fingerprinting and criminal background checks and for all other lawful purposes. Part 1 would amend Section 22-401 to add the following term and definition, key participant. Part 2 amends Section 22-411, which relates to dealer permits. Part 3 amends Section 22-412. Part 4 amends Section 22-413. Part 5 amends Section 22-414. Part 6 amends Section 22-415. Part 7 provides that if any portion of the ordinance is found to be unenforceable, to be severed from the balance of the ordinance.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like make a motion to approve the Dealers of Precious Metals and Gems Ordinance Amendment as read by the city attorney.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes. That brings us down to our next item, the booting of vehicles on private property ordinance amendment.
This is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Chamblee, Georgia, Chapter 86, Article 4, booting of vehicles on private property relative to fingerprinting and criminal background checks, and for all other lawful purposes. Part 1 amends Section 86-111 by adding a term and definition for key participant. Part 2 amends Section 86-114. Part 3 amends Section 86-115. And Part 4 provides that if any portion of the ordinance is found to be unenforceable, that it will be severed from the rest of the ordinance.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve the second read of ordinances, booting and of vehicles on private property ordinance amendment as read by the city attorney.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes. And that brings us down to new business. Looks like we have ordinance first read for transient pet sales ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for the city attorney to read headings only.
I have a motion for reading the headings only.
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes unanimously.
This is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Chamblee, Georgia, Chapter 14, Animals, Article 2, Offenses and Miscellaneous Provisions, Section 14-32, reserved to add new provisions related to the sale of dogs, cats, and domestic rabbits in certain public locations and for all other purposes. Section 1 amends the provisions of Chapter 14, Animal Control, Article 2, Offenses and Miscellaneous Provisions, Section 14-32 reserved, by deleting said section and replacing it with a new Section 14-32 prohibition on the sale of dogs, cats, and domestic rabbits in certain public locations. Section 2 provides that if any part of the ordinances, that all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this new ordinance are hereby repealed. And Section 3 provides that if any part of this ordinance is found to be unenforceable, it will be severed from the rest of the ordinance.
Fantastic. That will move to second read for next month, but I do want to thank Councilman Stovall for leading this. It's been a pleasure working with you to bring this to fruition.
Second.
All right, that brings us down to staff action items. The first item is Trees Atlantis Service Agreement Renewal.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion authorizing you or the mayor to execute the annual service agreement renewal with Trees Atlanta for the continuation of the city's front yard tree program.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to renew the Trees Atlantis Service Agreement. Is there any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes. That brings us down to PZ 20251424. This is 3381 Malone Drive.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve the requested variance from Section 240-7B8E to not place a commercial dumpster in the rear yard 5 feet from the property line with the following conditions. Number 1, the development should be constructed in substantial conformity with the site plan dated received by the Planning and Development Department on August 8, 2025. 2, the enclosure shall be constructed of brick or masonry materials that are similar to and/or complementary with the existing primary structure. And 3, the owner shall allow the Chamblee Public Arts Commission to use the enclosure for the installation of a public art piece to be funded through the Arts Commission.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to allow 3 variances for 3381 Malone Drive. Is there any discussion on this item?
It's 1 variance with 3 conditions, sir.
1 variance with 3 conditions. Thank you. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes. And now that brings us down to PZ 2025-1537, which includes 4 parcels on Chamblee Dunwoody Road, 3527, 3535, 3543, and 3553.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to motion to approve the following variances and waivers. Variance 1 is a variance from the Downtown Chamblee PUD Pattern Book, Chapter 2, Section 3B.1, to increase the percentage of units with a floor area ratio of 800 square feet from 60 to 80%. Also approve variances 2 through 11 and waivers 1 and 2 as recommended by staff. Deny variances number 12 and waiver number 3, all with the following conditions. First condition is the development shall be constructed in substantial conformity with the site plan and elevations dated and received by the Planning and Development Department August 5th, 2025, with revisions required by the planning, required by conditions of approval as reviewed and approved by the Planning and Development Director. Condition number 2, the square footage of the leasing office shall not exceed 1,000 square feet. Variance number 3, the applicant shall install screening on the western side of the parking structure utilizing public art. The final design and proposed artwork shall be approved by the Public Arts Commission. Condition number 4, the south elevation shall include additional balconies and arrangement consistent with those on the north and west elevations that will exceed 1/3 of the surface. Condition number 5, the applicant shall provide additional short-term bicycle racks. Condition number 5, the approval of waiver number 1 shall not override any determination by the building official, fire marshal, or any adopted building or fire codes. Number, 6? Or the next one, we'll just say the next one. The interparcel access shall be limited in width to accommodate no more than a full-size SUV vehicle, and that the interparcel access shall extend to the furthest northeast point of 3527 Chamblee Dunwoody Road. The next one, condition, for variance number 1, there shall be no increase in the number of units below 500 square feet, and the only increase in the number of units shall be for units that are above 800 square feet. And that is all.
Second.
I have a motion and a second as stated by Councilman Mesa. I'm not going to try to repeat that, but I hope we caught that. Is there any discussion on this item?
Yeah, for the public art portion, does the word design cover material of it also? Because we had an issue with one of the other ones we did, and I remember we didn't like what it looks like.
I would say that if you want to cover material, you want to specify that, because design probably means the look, less so than the actual material.
Paul, there was some discussion on that, but I would accept a friendly amendment if you wanted to add.
Yeah, that's what,
Yes, Jimmy, we will. It may cover the opacity and the width and the coverage, I think Homer
Yes.
mentioned. Can you state that, though?
so the amendment would be then to add that the coverage area and the material would also be approved by the Public Art Commission. Is that,
Are you addressing opacity in the coverage?
and opacity, yes.
Okay. I will
We'll have to write it out, she's giving me the look, so
I
I'll
will
write it out
accept
for you.
that friendly amendment.
And is that slot into a specific condition,
It's
Oh,
slotted to
gosh.
the,
1, 2, 3,
or is it a new condition?
it's the condition, but has to do with the design and the
3.
public art condition, so that.
Number
means-
3, it's the third one.
Yes.
So that the approval of the opacity can be included in condition number 3?
Correct.
Yep,
I have a friendly amendment that has been accepted.
Yes.
by legal,
So you're talking about the opacity and the square foot of the,
yes.
okay.
Thanks. Yes, so it's time to vote.
Okay.
I accepted it a while ago, but I'll accept
Any
it
more
again.
discussion on this item?
I'll accept it.
Okay.
My second still stands.
All in favor? And that passes. Every time, guys. Friendly amendment.
We
I
just-
asked gently.
Well,
I asked gently. It's
I
coming
tried
back like a
and then
nightmare at this point.
I forgot and I remembered, so.
All good. Looks like we have that concludes the staff action items. Looks like we don't have anything other mayor and council items. We're down to public comments. Public comments, the mayor is a presiding officer. All remarks shall be addressed to the city council as a body, not to the individual members. Anyone wishing to speak shall come to the microphone, give their name and address to the city clerk. Limit remarks to 3 minutes unless further time is granted by the council. Not speak a second time until everyone wishing to speak has spoken once. No one can speak more than twice. Please do not speak unless you have the microphone and have been recognized. Would anybody in the audience like to address council tonight? All right. Do we have executive session this evening?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to take a motion to enter into executive session for matters related to personnel, real estate, and potential litigation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Or excuse me, any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes unanimously. We'll be back in a moment. Or several.
We gotta get the permit and do all that. This is okay. So
When I came in, you could at least went up and said thanks. And you were also assembly. When I said public comments, but it's okay.
He can still hear. Test, 1, 2, test. Did you hear that? Okay. All right, if you heard tapping, that was. Test, 1, 2, test.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to exit executive session.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to exit executive session. Is there any discussion on this item? All in favor? And we are out.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda and add an item to appoint a new planning and development director.
I have a motion,
Second.
I have a motion and a second to amend the agenda. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Matthew Adams as planning and development director for the city of Chamblee.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to add Matt Adams as planning and development director to the city of Chamblee. Any discussion on this item?
Speech.
Any real discussion on this item?
He's getting up.
All in favor? Welcome to Chamblee.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? And that passes unanimously.